Check, check, check. Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Welcome everyone to Ritter Rugby Field for today's playoff match between the Cal Poly Mustangs and your California Golden Bears. Fans, please note a change to the program. Brett Dogowitz will start as the number 8 for the Golden Bears. Ladies and gentlemen, will you now please welcome the Cal Poly Mustangs. And now, would all those who are able to do so, please rise for the playing of our national anthem.
It's a beautiful day for playoff rugby here in Berkeley, California. Good afternoon and welcome to Witter Rugby Field. I'm Keegan Engelbrecht bringing you all the action in today's round of 16 matchup between the California Golden Bears and the Cal Poly Mustangs. Ready for kickoff here in short order as Cal's put together a 10-3 overall record in regular season competition to earn a playoff berth and the number 4 seed in the West. The Bears went undefeated in their first 6 games of the season, including a 33-7 defeat over Cal Poly at the Dennis Storer Classic back in January. Last time out on March 23rd, Cal traveled to Moraga for a matchup with the St. Mary's Gales, where the Bears held an advantage for 47 straight minutes before the Gales stormed back and secured the 38-31 victory. And we're off and running here in Berkeley as Rand Santos puts a tidy kick out of bounds, but Cal Poly wants to play quickly. Looking for a bit of space down the left touchline. A nice touch finder from the Mustangs here in the early exchanges of this match. Plenty of new faces for the Bears this afternoon. Clayton Seastrand, Cade Christ, and Captain Charlie Walsh in the front row. Miles Malone and Ryan Marshall suiting up in the 4 and 5 shirts respectively, with Dom Paga, Brian Boynia, and Brett Dogowitz as the back rowers this afternoon. An infraction spotted early by referee Tim Liu. We'll see what Cal Poly's got in mind here, an opportunity to pick up 3 points early in the match. It looks like that's what they're going to opt for. Backline for the Bears consisting of halfback pairing Solomon Williams and Rand Santos. Max Threlkeld returns from injury, partnering with Mikael de Beer in the centers, with Evan Weigold, Joe Kirsten, and Oliver Newell making up the deep 3. This is inside center Kobe Baker with an early shot at goal, kicking into a breeze coming out of the west here off of the San Francisco Bay. Unable to convert is Baker. Will keep the scores level at 0. Mustang squad traveling to Strawberry Canyon, consisting of Quentin Tyndall, Jack Zilligan, and Gianni Greco. Teddy Alberton and Wyatt O'Connor making up the rest of the engine room, with Tyler Roberts, Michael McPherson, and Ryan Wenstrom as the 8th man. Here's Newell, the fullback, with an early touch. And the Bears are going to go to work. Williams, Santos. Offsides is the call from Tim Liu. An opportunity for the Bears to work the ball deep into Mustang territory. Backlines for the Stangs would be Patty Casey, Will Nogrady in the scrum half and fly half positions. Center pairing of Kobe Baker and Dylan Cayuel. Julian Darafelli, Nick Poor, and Nico Domini at the fullback position, as Rand Santos unable to find touch and gathered calmly by the Mustangs. Casey working his forward pack. And a good strong tackle early from the freshman Boynia. It's a keen carry from Newell again. Boynia's big hit favors returned, and a turnover for the Mustangs. Here's Teddy Alberton with a carry as the Mustangs pass over halfway. A bit of a half gap spotted by Patty Casey, the scrum half, unable to connect, but gathered up calmly by Ryan Wenstrom, the 8th man for Cal Poly. McPherson carrying the ball over halfway. It's a spot down this right-hand side for the Mustangs if they can spot it. Well covered and tackled by Miles Malone for the Bears. And a penalty. I think that was Evan Weigold over the top of that, earning a penalty for the Bears right on halfway. It was a good cover tackle from Malone, the sophomore from Gonzaga High School. Santos doing well to find touch and the roof of a car in the parking lot. Cade Christ, the hooker, with throw-in duties today. Rudy Schultz nominee. An exciting honor for him this season and well earned. Wide ball from Williams. Plenty of movement in the midfield from the Bears. Finds Evan Weigold. And a sharp line from Oliver Newell, beating 2 or 3 tacklers, getting over the whitewash, and that's the first try for California off of a very well executed set piece and a very hard line from Oliver Newell. Oliver Newell, the 5-time starter this season, scoring his 7th try of the 2024 campaign. Well executed from California, resulting all from that cover tackle by Malone and penalty earned by Weigold here at halfway. Sharp line out set piece. Tidy hands from the backs. A good early team try for California. I mentioned Cade Christ, the sophomore from San Diego, as a Rudy Schultz nominee. Spent much of his summer last summer with the USA U20s, as did Rand Santos and Solomon Williams. So plenty of U20 age grade experience on display here for California, as Santos picks up 2 more, making it 7-0 California as we approach 7 minutes gone in this first half. It's a good restart from Cal Poly. Winger Julian DeRaffelli does well to keep the ball alive. And a wide ball from Domine. Wants to step underneath, beating a few Bears defenders. Remains on his feet. We'll see what Cal Poly can do to answer the early Bears try. Poly doing well to show some shape. Casey, now to Nogrady. Nogrady wants to work his forwards. Another attacking pod here in the midfield with the captain, Quentin Tendell. Casey's going to continue to work this short side left as the rest of his side regains their shape. Bears doing well to smother the ball carrier. I think that was Kobe Baker, the inside center. The infraction from referee Tim Liu, I think that was the tackler not releasing the ball carrier, resulting in a penalty for the Mustangs. Here's Domine now. Looks like he's going to opt for a touch finder down that left side. See if the Mustangs can work their attacking line out. Set piece always a very valuable attacking platform, especially so deep in Bear territory, as the Mustangs cross just inside the Cal 22. Zach Zilligan, the hooker, with the throw-in, finds Nogrady. Excuse me, Wenstrom. It's the 3rd or 4th short side dart we've seen from the scrum half Casey. Perhaps seeing something on film, maybe wanting to exploit those fringe defenders from the Bears. Bears are on top of him, though. And he's going to spin the ball wide to his fly half. No Grady. Here's Baker now. Tackled by Santos. Bonia with another good tackle on the front rower, Greco, but the ball stays alive for the Mustangs. Cal Poly doing well to keep their shape, string some phases together. And again, earning themselves another penalty. Looks like a little bit of over-eagerness creeping into the Cal side early in these exchanges with an offside penalty spotted by Tim Liu. Tim Liu, the man in the middle this afternoon, joined by assistant referees George O'Neill and Matt Hederman. As Kobe Baker calls for the tee, he's going to give another shot at goal in a similar position from his last attempt. Other than the breeze coming off the mighty Pacific, it is a crystal clear, perfect day here in Strawberry Canyon. Busy day on campus, softball doubleheader just to our east. Spring football practice on Memorial Field. An awkward strike from Baker, but no pictures on the scorecard as he picks up 3 points for his side, bringing our score 7-3 in favor of California. Cal Poly would be happy with those 3 points. Showed some good patience and an eagerness and willingness to string some phases together. Good discipline from the side. They'll need plenty of it this afternoon in this round of 16 playoff match. The restart gathered neatly by Wenstrom, the 8th man for Cal Poly. Casey now to Dominique, who's going to try and clear his lines. To awaiting Oliver Newell. Plenty of resources for Newell here. He's going to unleash them all at Santos now. Joe Kirsten with the ball in hand, beating his first and his second and his third. Dragged down right beyond the attacking 22. Base for offsides from Solomon Williams, the Cal scrum half. As Dom Paga, the flanker, tidies up a loose ball. Charlie Walsh now with a carry in the midfield. Santos out the back. Threlkeld in the 12 jersey this afternoon. Cade Christ working some penetration as Cal again regains territory into the 22. Nice wide ball from Williams. Bit of a half gap behind to Charlie Walsh. Good skills, pin and pass, offloading to his front row partner. I think that's Clayton Seastrand. You love to see the skills from the front row combination. Prop on prop connection, Walsh to Seastrand. It's 5 more points for California. All started from that counterattack by way of Newell, Santos, and a piercing run from Kirsten. Setting up what looks to be a very easy conversion for the fly half ran Santos. Santos, the sophomore, tasked with kicking duties this afternoon.
Conversion, Santos, California.
Nearly 14 minutes gone. It's 14-3, California. Paga unable to gather the knuckleball of a restart from Dominique. This Cal's going to work Christ. It looks like they've got space down that right side. Santos spotting a bit of space, chipping ahead to Michael DeBeer, chasing eagerly. But Dominique beats the first as Joe Kirsten brings him down. Here's Baker to O'Grady. Big carry from the captain, Quentin Tyndall from Cal Poly. Again, Casey wants to dip underneath and find some space. Great hands from Kobe Baker to gather that ball off his shoelaces. As the Mustangs stringing a number of passes together here, but unable to connect on the last, and Cal regains possession. Deep in their own territory here, likely want to get into their exit protocols. Solomon Williams looks like he's shaping for a box kick and does so. Really good passage of play there from Cal Poly. Forwards and backs interchanging. Good support lines. Unable to connect on the last. Not 5 meters out from the California try line. It's an intercept from Boyna, unable to connect, but stays on the job trying to bring down Baker as he works his fend. O'Grady with a wide ball to Dominique. Here's Darafelli. The fly half and O'Grady unable to gather that pass. An unforced error from the fly half, an uncharacteristic knock on. As Cal will shape for an attacking midfield scrum. Break in the action here. Looks like Cal Poly scrum half Paul Casey, a bit shaken up. West Region number 5 seed Cal Poly visits Strawberry Canyon this afternoon, sporting an 8-4 overall record so far this season, securing their spot in the round of 16. Having secured wins from, against San Diego State, Santa Clara, Santa Cruz, UC Davis, Santa Barbara, UCLA. 4v5 in the West Region this afternoon here in Witter. Cal wants to work the right side as Dogowitz. As Williams gets underneath. Wenstrom, the 8th man from Cal Poly. Williams wants to work this short side. Quick hands from Santos. Threlkeld trying to find Santos out the back, unable to do so. Puts the ball on a one-touch with his left foot. Ball looks like it's out. But Bears not entering that ruck through the gate. And Cal Poly will earn themselves another penalty just inside their own half. Looks like Dominique is going to try and put this ball down the right touchline. It's a good kick from Dominique and a great effort from Rand Santos keeping the ball alive. as Oliver Newell will carry into contact. Brian Boynia, the freshman, earning his start after an impressive performance against the Gales 2 weeks ago. Turnover at the ruck, it seems, and Cal Poly's now on attack. That's Gianni Greco with a carry for the Mustangs. Bears doing a good job of disrupting that ruck. Cal Poly's going to need to restart their attack. Here's Tyndall. A big collision in the midfield. That's Zilligan brought down by Chris. Hooker on Hooker. Here's Baker now, dumping the ball inside to Wenstrom. Tyler Roberts now taking a turn into a staunch Cal defense. Bears doing well to keep the Mustangs in front of them. Mustangs stringing phases together, unfortunately not necessarily earning territory for their effort. Kobe Baker sees a lot of ball. Casey with a wide ball. Darafelli does a great job to avoid the knock-on and keep it alive. Wide ball from Baker, perhaps some spot down this left side as Dominique gets around Threlkeld, but unable to connect with his winger Nick Poor. And after maybe a dozen or so phases from the Mustangs, it's a turnover. Ball having ruled forward, says Tim Liu. And it's attacking scrum for California. A lot of width for the California back line. See if it's an opportunity to put the ball through the back's hands. And that's just where they'll go. Threlkeld puts the ball to a hotline from De Beer, unable to connect, and a bit of space spotted by Dominique. A few mistakes from both sides so far in this afternoon's contest. Each keen to show an enterprising brand of rugby, willing to run the ball, willing to back themselves, just unable to connect on those last few passes as we're back underway. Charlie Walsh, the captain, keeping his legs alive. Weigel spotting a bit of a gap to a waiting Newell. Batted back by Threlkeld. All very loose from California in their own end. And I think another turnover in favor of the Mustangs. Unfortunately able to keep their feet at that ruck. Cal lucky to get away with the penalty there. 15 meters outside of their old goal line. You've got to respect the willingness to run the ball out of your own 22. But in single elimination playoff rugby, perhaps an opportunity to exit your territory, as Santos does just that, putting the ball into the grandstand on the far touchline. It's a good throw from Christ. Finding, I think it was Ryan Marshall. the lock for California. Brian Boyna with a good carry. Hotline from Threlkeld to a waiting Williams. Ryan Marshall carrying in. Santos with a hot step off of his left foot, unable to escape the attention of Wenstrom. Oh, it's a good line from Mikkel de Beer. Keeps his legs alive if he can connect with Weigold, and does so. Stepping underneath the last Pauley defender for a very well-worked try from California. Their third of the afternoon.
California.
Earning 5 more points for California. That gap for Mikkel de Beer seemed to open just at the last moment as he was able to slice through. Doing well to step past a few Mustang defenders, keeping the ball alive. It's a good support line from Weigold, with plenty of work to do there at the end as he stepped underneath a tracking Dominee from Cal Poly. Challenging kick from Santos, unable to convert on those 2 points, leaving the ball just outside the right upright. About a quarter hour remains in this first half. 19-3 in favor of the Bears. Another awkward quick kick from Dominee, gathered calmly from Santos with an excellent kick to clear his lines. The lineout's marked just below our tower here, beyond halfway. Plenty of movement at the lineout, finding Wenstrom. Baker now releasing the rest of his back line. It's a headsy kick from Nogrady off of his left boot, but read well by Newell, who wants to keep the ball alive and counterattacking well. Escaping 3 defenders, brought down by the 4th, unable to connect with Kirsten. But plenty of numbers and space down this left touchline if the Bears can use it. Smooth hands from Charlie Walsh, the captain. Here comes Mikkel de Beer, the outside center from Hilton College in Johannesburg, on the receiving end of some very tidy hands from his front row captain, Charlie Walsh. 2 quick tries in quick succession for the California back line. As the Bears earn 5 more points and a second conversion for Rand Santos in virtually the same spot as before. Rand Santos, the sophomore, of course the son of Cal great Rick Santos. Perhaps overcorrecting is Rand on this second attempt. The first one didn't draw quite enough. This second one perhaps drawing too much, sending it off the left upright. It's 24-3. Bears over Mustangs. It's a better restart from Dominee, sending it up, hanging up into the wind, giving Cal a bit of trouble resulting in a knock on. Be a good attacking opportunity here for the Mustangs just outside the Cal 22. Baker unable to connect with his winger, and it's a turnover. Picked up by DeBeer. There's space down this right side for the Bears. Santos spotting it as he puts down a bit of attacking play. Dogowitz now. Boynia met well by the Mustangs defense. Looks like Mikael DeBeer isolated there. It's a knock on from California. A bit of an untidy ruck from both sides. As Tim Liu spots a knock on by California. For another attacking scrum here for the Mustangs. Big short side for Cal Poly. Mustangs are going to use the open side. It's no Grady as he loops around, receiving his pass from Baker. Nice wide ball. I think that was poor with the carry for Cal Poly. Teddy Alberton now taking a turn, and Paul Casey putting a ball high into the East Bay sky, looking to put a bit of pressure on the deep three from Cal. Tons of space down this left touch line, spotted by Rand Santos, as Dominique's going to gather, try to escape the arms of Evan Weigold, and unable to do so. Oliver Newell doing very well to keep the ball alive and from rolling out of touch. There's still some numbers here down this left side if they want to use it. It looks like Solomon Williams is keen to do so, but unable to. So they're going to dump it off to Dogowitz instead. Bit of space there spotted by Williams. Joe Kirsten in support. It's a simple 2-on-1 if they can convert and do so very well. That's a great try by California. Started very well by Solomon Williams. Williams, such a headsy player, always on the boil, is the sophomore from Carlsbad. Does very well to spot that space, and it's a good support line from Joe Kirsten. Kirsten scoring his 13th try this season, Cal's top try scorer so far. Seems to have a nose for the try line, does Kirsten. Should be an easy 2 for Santos.
Conversion, Santos, California.
Converting without stress, making it 31-33. As 6.5 minutes remain in this first half. Bears doing a great job of scoring based off the available opportunities. Cal Poly doing a really good job so far, demonstrating an ability to string their phases together and maintain their shape, just unable to gain any territory, unable to convert on some of those opportunities. Regardless, it's 31-3 California, and we are back underway. Charlie Walsh with another good carry, getting on the outside of his man, keeping the ball alive to Ryan Marshall. It's Williams, now to Santos. Weigold in support, one man to beat with Santos on the inside. Finds him very neatly, does Weigold. Santos is gonna stroll in for another California try.
Try Santos.
All off of the back of some very hard work from front rower and captain Charlie Walsh. Doing a great job of getting on the outside of his man. Good support line from Ryan Marshall, keeping the ball alive. And then, of course, Solomon Williams never far from the action to release the balance of the back line as Cal picks up 5 more. Santos doing himself a favor, scoring directly underneath the goalposts, and will in all likelihood convert his own try. It's 38-3 as we get into the final minutes of this first half. This round of 16 action, an excellent opportunity for a number of Bears to get experience in single elimination play. The likes of Clayton Seastrand, Miles Malone, Ryan Marshall, Dom Paga, Boynia, the freshman, as I've mentioned, Brett Dogowitz. Santos kicking the ball directly at my tower here, clearing his lines. Very tidy exit from California. Here's Zilligan from Cal Poly to get things restarted. Nice wide ball from Paul Casey. As the open side, Michael McPherson with a hard carry into the Cal midfield. Casey wants to play quickly, but brought down well by Max Threlkeld. Ooh, good hands from the Mustangs there, keeping the ball alive. O'Grady now taking the ball nice and flat, and a good line from Baker. Unable to keep the ball alive. Spotted penalty by Tim Liu. Haven't seen the sign yet. I think it was not rolling away. Dominique is going to do his best to kick into a stiff breeze. It's a good kick from Dominique as they work their way inside the Cal 22. We'll see what the Mustangs can pull together here. It's a good attacking platform. Anytime you get a set piece inside the opposition 22. Boynia unable to bring down Baker. Zilligan with the carry. It looks like the Mustangs want to reverse the run of play with Tyndall. Another big carry met by Dogowitz. And not rolling away, says referee Tim Liu. Unsure who he's spotted there. I think I only saw Dogowitz in the tackle, and he was working to poach. Referee Tim Liu's perhaps unhappy with the number of repeated infringements from California, especially in their own territory. Can have a quick word with Charlie Walsh, making sure the Bears maintain their discipline. I'm sure repeated infringements likely result in a yellow card, especially in this area of the field. Interesting to see what the Mustangs opt for here. It looks like they're going to go with a midfield scrum, which, to be fair to them, is a good call. It's a tough area of the field to defend for the Bears. Plenty of space and opportunity left and right for Cal Poly. Looks like we've got Dominique shaped directly behind the scrum. We've got Kobe Baker and Dirafelli down this right side, and here we go. Casey pinning his ears back, trying to keep the ball alive, knocking it on in the tackle. Disappointed with himself, not yet gotten up from that tackle as Weigold cleans things up for California. No advantage gained, says referee Tim Liu. We'll come back for a attacking scrum for California. 5 meters out from their own try line as we quickly approach halftime. Cal will likely want to exit out of here via Dogowitz, and they do so, supported well by the inside center Threlkeld. Thinking perhaps they might want to exit out of here, but showing a keen and willingness to run out, as I think that was De Beer. Works his way out of his own 5 meter. Santos now trying to work some space, turning it over in the tackle. Jumped on quickly by, I think that's outside center, Dylan Cayuel. Perhaps a little too eager from California with 40 minutes on the clock. Cayuel doing a great job to spot the opportunity, poaching the ball from Santos. Picking up 5 points for his side does Cayuel right at the stroke of halftime. It's a well-earned try from Cal Poly. Single elimination rugby opportunities like that rarely present themselves. When they do, best to jump on them. Cayuel picking up 5 points for his side, as Baker will try and add 2 more. Unable to bring it around, will fade across the face of the uprights. And there's the blast from referee Tim Liu. It's 38-8 in favor of California. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with second half action here at Witter Rugby Field in Berkeley.
On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And fans, Cal Rugby Summer Camp for boys ages 14 to 18 will take place July 19th through the 21st on the campus of the University of California. For more information and to register, go to calbears.com/camps.
Welcome back, rugby fans. It is a breezy April afternoon here at the University of California with second half action set to kick off at Witter Rugby Field. The Bears playing host to the Cal Poly Mustangs as Rand Santos gets us underway. First half action, 38-8 in favor of California. 6 different Bears having scored tries. Santos making good on 4 of 6 conversions, as Oliver Newell does well to gather the Mustangs' kick. Continues to have a good afternoon, keeping his legs alive. It's Cade Christ dumping off to his fly half. Santos gobbled up by Kobe Baker. Kick charged down as Solomon Williams tried to exploit some space down this right side. Looks like the Mustangs have a replacement scrum half. It looks like Patty Casey. Been calling him Paul for most of the first half. Patty Casey's afternoon is over. Here's Ryan Winstrom, chased down by Boyna. Bays for a high tackle by Mikael de Beer. Spotted by Tim Liu. As Nico Domini is going to try and work this ball deep into territory. Ball kind of came off the inside of his boot awkwardly. And the beneficiary of the unexpected bounce of the rugby ball sees the ball run into touch just this side of that corner pylon. As we said in the first half, no pictures on the scorecard, and it's an attacking line out for the Mustangs on the California 5-meter. Zilligan connects with Renstrom, but brought down quickly by California. Here's Baker now with a carry into the midfield. Big, strong runner is Kobe Baker. Seen a lot of touches this afternoon. Turnover by Boyna. Illegally so, says Tim Liu. And O'Grady's quick on the boil, trying to catch the Bears napping, but not taken from the mark, and therefore brought back. It's a good spot of space from O'Grady. Unfortunately didn't take that tap through the mark, and so the Mustangs are going to opt for an attacking scrum. Looks like they're going to move Domini over to the short side, perhaps a chance for him to connect with Dirafelli, with the balance of the back line down this left side. Nick Poor, this winger's nice and wide, but the Stangs are going to go to the right, work the short side. Here's Domini. Sloppy ball picked up quickly by Don Paga. But lost in the tackle and turned over. The Mustangs want to keep the ball alive. O'Grady now, and there's some space here if Kobe Baker can spot it. Does so well. Here's Cayuel working his way over the try line. Another high tackle by California. Good piercing run from Dylan Cayuel as he works to pick up his second try today. Mentioned it towards the end of that first half. A few infringements, repeated infringements by California deep in their own territory. A word was had by Tim Liu with Captain Charlie Walsh, asking for the Bears to maintain their discipline. Harsher penalties, I'm sure, will ensue. And yet another penalty by California. O'Grady wants to keep the ball alive. Offloading to the replacement scrum half for the Mustangs. Mustangs are looking to work their forwards, trying to find some soft California shoulders. Not many of those out there this afternoon, but certainly not going to stop the Mustangs from trying. As Rand Santos strips the ball out of the eighth man Ryan Wenstrom, and he earns a turnover for his side and an opportunity for them to exit their territory. Kicking into a steady breeze coming out of the west. They're going to run the ball in their own try zone. It's a hard step for Mikael De Beer as he pins his ears back but forgets the ball. And a bit of frustration perhaps creeping in. Mustangs doing a great job of staying alive here in this territory. Spent the overwhelming majority of the 7 minutes of this second half in Cal territory, the bulk of that inside the 22. They'll want to do everything they can to capitalize on this opportunity and come away with points. Here's Cayuel now connecting with his center partner Baker. But unable to gain any territory as the Mustangs keep the ball alive. Here's Tyndall. Rarely does the first man bring Tyndall down, as O'Grady works the ball out the back to Wyatt O'Connor. Looks like another replacement in the front row for the Mustangs. Nice ball out the back from Tyndall to Kobe Baker. Getting all of the attention of Boynia and a number of Bears tacklers, Dom Paga being one of them. Ooh, good spot of space by Domini. Gets past the first line of defense as he offloads to Dirafelli. Plenty of numbers and space for the Mustangs if they can use it as the Bears work back to retreat. Baker now wide. Tyndall. Tyndall with a bit of a Hail Mary, trying to find Nick Poor, but the front rower unable to execute on such a wide ball. And it looks like we'll come back from an infringement from the previous ruck. Another word to be had with Captain Charlie Walsh. And I think it's a yellow card for Oliver Newell, the fullback for California, for a high tackle. So he's going to spend the next 10 minutes in the bin. And Cal will be down a man. Not something Cal fans will want to hear, given the persistent pressure from the Mustangs so deep in California territory. But an opportunity here for the Mustangs to convert. It looks like that Mustangs front rower is receiving some medical attention. Don't have his name, unfortunately. I don't have the name of the replacement front rower or the replacement scrum half. Apologies to the Mustangs fans. As Cal Poly gets us restarted. Wenstrom again towering in the line out, bringing the ball down. Baker out the back to Nogrady. Here's Domini with a bunch of space. Perhaps an opportunity to connect with Nick Poor, but tackled well by Threlkeld, and a good supporting line from Nogrady. Unable to bring it in is Zilligan, and it's a turnover by the Mustangs as Rand Santos in California is going to look to exit their territory. Santos opting to put it on his right boot, but kicking into a stiff breeze, and a good support line by the South African duo De Beer and Kirsten. Ooh, big collision from Dogowitz and Tyndall for at least the second time this afternoon. Nice ball and a piercing run from Baker, keeping the ball alive to Domini. Brought down at the very end by Threlkeld. And the Mustangs again find themselves 5 meters out from the California try line. I think Wenstrom's going to work that short side. Mustangs continue to chip away at the inches available. Looks like they do it. I think that's front rower and captain Quentin Tyndall picking up 5 points for his side after an onslaught of relentless pressure from the Cal Poly Mustangs. The overwhelming majority of time this second half being spent in California territory. Good patient rugby from the Mustangs, and an inability for the Bears to exit their territory, resulting in 5 points for Cal Poly. It's 38-13 with the conversion to come. A lot of hard work from the Mustangs forward pack there to grind out every available inch as they worked closer and closer to the California try line. Baker now the breeze behind his back, unable to pick up the extra 2. It's 13-38 in favor of California, with 12 minutes gone in this second half. It'll be important for California to respond in kind. The Mustangs having the bulk of the run of play in this second half. Despite the scoreline, they are going to want to capitalize on the momentum that they've done so well to generate, as Domini is going to put that ball on his big left boot. It's a great kick from Domini, as Cal again finds themselves in their own half. Excuse me, I don't think that was Domini. I think that was the fly half Nogrady with the cannon of a left boot as he exits his territory with the full force of the wind at his back. And here comes California, Miles Malone, as they work towards halfway, picked up quickly by the front rower Clayton Seastrand. Brian Boyna, Charlie Walsh in support. It's a wide ball from Williams. Picked up by De Beer, not much space for him to work. Don Paga gathering the ball off Charlie Walsh. Santos now with the missed pass. Joe Kirsten gets outside of his man. We mentioned it in the first half. Kirsten seems to have a nose for the try line, picking up his 2nd of the afternoon and 14th of this season. With a very sharp in and out step, working his left fend, getting on the outside of Nick Poor. And it's a great response. It's the response you want to see if you're a Bears fan. Bringing our score 43-13. And a difficult kick for 2 more points for Rand Santos in his immediate future. This angle, of course, the more difficult of the 2 angles for a right-footed striker. Couple that with the breeze coming off the mighty Pacific to our west. No easy task for the sophomore fly half. Plenty of power on it, but unable to find the direction. Looks to be a few more changes for the Mustangs as Dominique gets us underway. It's a monster restart from Dominique, high into the East Bay sky. Gathered well by Weigold. Weigold seeing a lot of ball this afternoon, the senior from Connecticut. Santos with plenty of time to put this ball in his right boot. Unable to find touch as Wenstrom waits and is going to work the ball quickly to Dominique, brought down right on halfway. McGrady with the flat ball to Wyatt O'Connor. Good counter rough from Dogowitz. Intercept by Threlkeld. If he can pin his ears back, the try is his. But Kobe Baker brings him down. And Cal is on attack once again. Good misdirection and interplay from the forwards. I think Williams wanted that ball wider, but Seastrand is having none of it and is going to get to work driving his legs. Williams wants to play quickly as the Mustangs fail to retreat the required 10 meters, and he's brought down 5 meters out. It looks like the Mustangs earning themselves a penalty. Cal unable to resource that ruck in time. I think that was Kobe Baker. The inside center for the Mustangs seems to do it all. Plenty of touches on the ball, plenty of tackles. Tasked with kicking at goal, and in this instance, poaching balls and saving tries. Probably not the exit that the Mustangs were looking for, but regardless, they still maintain possession as hooker Zach Zilligan will throw the ball in. Mustangs are going to run it out of their territory and then shape to kick from the left-footed Nogrady, but instead Winstrom's going to carry into midfield. Here's Dominique now. I think this is to Tyndall finding some space down this side, connecting with the replacement winger. Very well tackled. It's a great open field tackle from Joe Kirsten in front of his own sideline as each one of his teammates in the stands comes to their feet to cheer on such a strong right shoulder from Joe Kirsten. Good ball from Christ, connecting to Dom Paga. Looks like the referee Tim Liu got in the way. No matter for Boynia as he cleans up the loose ball. Seastrand and Marshall partnering together for a bit of graft. Now the back rowers, Don Paga and Dogowitz following suit. Oh, it's a good outside line by Threlkeld, and a better ball from Santos connecting with Weigold in support. Really good hands from Santos, Weigold, and a nice piercing line from Threlkeld picks up 5 points for California. 2 back-to-back tries from the Bears. Doing very well to answer the early second half try from Cal Poly. That try, Weigold's second of the afternoon, and his 10th of the season. I mentioned the Weigold, the senior from Greenwich High School in Connecticut, as Cal looks to make 5 changes at this stoppage. Looks like Cade Christ, Max Threlkeld, Captain Charlie Walsh, fellow front rower Clayton Seastrand, and scrum half Solomon Williams, all making way for California replacements. We'll get a number of those replacements here. Looks to be Lance Hackett, Josh Mao, Michael Puckett, Mac Fell, Emmett Cook, and Caleb Thomasine, all checking into the contest. 6 replacements for California, with Mac Fell taking over the captaincy duties for the remainder of the contest. Speaking of which, an early touch from Mac Fell directly into his work as Oliver Newell has returned from the sin bin. Cal back at full strength. Cal picking up 2 tries as they were down a man. With Josh Mao getting an early touch. Here's Boyna again. Thomasine to Fell. It's a good ball. I think this is Emmett Cook with an early touch. Tim Cook disagrees vehemently, calling for a forward pass, I think spotted by his AR here on this near side touchline. But it's a good piercing line from Emmett Cook and a good early touch for him.
Big fist, come here, boys! Come on, Malone! Go, boys! Stay low, boys!
I think it's an entirely new front row for California. Lance Hackett, Josh Mao, Michael Puckett, as I mentioned. Good hands from the Mustangs. Not necessarily gaining any ground, but doing a good job of working their backline moves. Unable to put the finishing touches on the move as the ball finds the ground. And it's a knock on by the Mustangs. Excuse me, not a knock on. Looks like the winger was gobbled into touch. So it's an early throw for the replacement hooker. I believe it's Michael Puckett. Ryan Wenstrom wants to work the short side from that attacking scrum. More loose play from the Mustangs. The intent is there from Cal Poly. The shape is there, just unable to find that last pass, unable to draw that last defender, connect on that last bit of skill to capitalize on the opportunities they've done so well to create for themselves. Little over a quarter hour remains in this playoff round of 16. It's 48-13 in favor of the California Golden Bears, as Emmett Cook loses his footing in the movement, but picked up by Oliver Newell. And that ball went forward, says Tim Liu, for yet another scrum. Grady now. Here's Baker, excuse me. Dominique finding some penetration in the California defense, keeping the ball alive to O'Grady. And the Mustangs are again inside the California 22. O'Grady slow to get up from that exchange. And a very wide ball from Baker. Finds Cayuel. Here's Tyndall, the captain. Baker with a second touch. Touch judge says the attacking side stepped out of bounds. From my angle, I thought they did a pretty good job of keeping the ball alive. But to be fair, he was all of 3 feet away from the action. And it's Lance Hackett with the resulting line out. Not straight, says Tim Liu. Looks like John Puckett is checking in for Brian Boyna. A lot of activity from Boyna this afternoon. A lot of tackles, a lot of carries. No stranger to the hard parts of the game is Boyna. John Puckett finds himself in the middle of the action, the replacement flanker. The game struggling to find its rhythm these last few minutes, it seems. A number of replacements from both sides. Been very start-stop as each side is working to keep the ball alive. But like I've mentioned, unable to just connect on those last few moments. Here comes Taylor Thomasine around the short side. And Joe Kirsten unable to bring it in cleanly. But backwards says referee, and we play on. Thomasine now with a wide ball to Fell. The replacement fly half gets beyond 2 defenders, trying to connect to De Beer as Cal works their way just over halfway into Mustangs half. I think that's Miles Malone now, the ball carrier. Fell. Mao connecting to Ryan Marshall. Numbers here for Bears, they can spot it. Mac Fell spots a bit of space, puts a clever kick on the right foot, and very well chased by Oliver Newell. Outruns Dominique in pursuit. And it's a very clever bit of play from Mac Fell, the replacement fly half, putting a perfectly weighted grubber on his right foot. The kick, of course, only as good as its chase. Oliver Newell turns on the Jets to pick up the bounce of the ball. It's 5 more points from California with 11 minutes left in this second half. Looks like Joe Kirsten's going to take over the kicking duties for Rand Santos. His first charter, not the easiest. As I mentioned, this angle, the more difficult of the two for a right-footed striker, into a very strong breeze. Oh, it's a good kick from Kirsten. Plenty of power. Unable to fade it inside that left upright. That leaves our score 53-13, California. By my count, 3 Bears picking up 2 tries apiece. We've seen Evan Weigold with a pair, Joe Kirsten with a pair, and Oliver Newell picking up his second and most recent California try. Another deep restart from Dominique, directly into the hands of MacFell, who's going to return the favor into a waiting Ryan Wenstrom. Looks like Dominique was going to try and work a 50-22 into this left corner, but unable to do so. Newell is going to gather calmly and dot it down for the goal line dropout. This change, one of the more recent law changes. Bears now tasked with drop kicking the ball out of their own try zone, whereas previously they would have done so from the 22. MacFell's going to kick directly back to Dominique as they want to work the ball wide. Good wide passes from the Mustangs, but well defended from California. Looked like Mikkel de Beer was on top of it. And California doing a good job to work their way out of their own half. Good kick from MacFell, with replacement hooker for California, Lance Hackett. Going to look to convert and connect with Ryan Marshall, and does so well. And here come the Bears by way of rolling maul. Dom Paga eventually brought down. MacFell is going to dump it off for Emmett Cook. Turned over. I'm not sure how that ball squirted out, but I think that's Joe Kirsten in pursuit, looking to pick up his third. And we'll come back for the advantage right on the 5-meter line, spotted by Tim Liu. By all indications, it looks like California is going to opt for a scrum, and it's a good option. Plenty of space on the left-hand side and right-hand side, and really only 5 meters out. Options to work both back lines, maybe even opportunity for the Cal forward pack to put their heads down and drive the Mustangs backwards. Here comes Dogowitz around this right side, virtually uncontested. McGrady does his best to bring him down, but unsuccessful. And that's another try for California, this time by way of 8th man Brett Dogowitz. Picks up his first of the afternoon. The senior and local boy from Corte Madera High School. From Corte Madera Redwood High School. Cal firmly in control of this match as the clock continues to kick. Kirsten will pick up an easy 2 points. His first successful conversion since having taken over the duties from Rand Santos. It's 60-13 in favor of California on this opening playoff match in the round of 16. MacPhail's gathered his third restart in as many restarts. I think Dominique's kicking to him directly at this point. As the ball pops up for Joe Kirsten, connects to DeBeer. Here comes Emmett Cook in a good support line, and he's gonna drop that down. Cook's first of the afternoon. An opportunistic try as Joe Kirsten and DeBeer and Cook connect for 5 more points. The Bears not done this afternoon. Another tester for Kirsten. I mentioned this match firmly in the hands of California. Cal Poly, of course, visiting up from San Luis Obispo, came in yesterday afternoon. Showed plenty of signs of brilliance, did the Mustangs. An ability to put a number of phases together, a willingness to play out of their own end, just unable to convert on the opportunities that were made available to them, as Kirsten fails to pick up the 2 points in conversion. Plenty of background noise as a dirt bike gang passes up Strawberry Canyon behind us. And Dominique's gonna get us underway. Again, Kurt kicking directly to MacPhail, who's gonna return the favor to Wenstrom. Mustangs want to play, doing a good job of maintaining possession. Tackled by Dom Paga, who working for the poach, but Mustangs hold on. Charged down by, I think, Michael Puckett. I think every dirt bike in the East Bay is passing behind us right now. As Cal regains possession, and they're back on attack by way of DeBeer, dumping the ball inside to Emmett Cook. Thomasine with a wide ball. MacPhail with not a lot of resources around him at his disposal. Cal 5 meters out here, about a minute and a half left in the action. Still very much on the boil. Cal's forward pack continuing to grind out the inches. Now we're gonna go wide. MacPhail with a skip pass to, I think, Weigold. That's Weigold's third.
Weigold, California.
Good patience from the California forward pack. Good recognition of space from MacPhail as he quickly and tidily put that ball through his hands. with a well-executed skip pass. Evan Weigold diving for that corner pylon to ground the ball, making it 70-13. And Joe Kirsten with yet another sideline conversion in front of him. That Weigold try, his third of the afternoon, earning himself a hat trick. Good performance from the Bears. Bit of a mixed side as California did well to manage injuries and availability of resources. And that'll do it. The final score this afternoon, it's 70-13 after the final whistle from referee Tim Liu. Next week, the Bears will take on the winners of St. Mary's versus the Grand Canyon University Antelopes. That's it from us here at Witter Rugby Field in Berkeley, California. I'm Keegan Engelbrecht saying so long from Strawberry Canyon. We'll see y'all soon.